Hello and welcome. My name is Hart. I'm here with my good buddy Jesse, and we're going to review a movie that I found in some cheapy dollar bin. There's three of them. We will get to all three, not in this video, but it's called Feast, and it is the epitome of a B movie, but a really good B movie, honestly.
It could almost be an A movie.
Yeah, just about. The production value is really high on this, and that's thanks to Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Wes Craven, the Weinstein brothers. Plenty of people produced this. Those are the biggest names I've ever seen on a movie that I've never heard of. It came out back in 2005. The sequels were 2008 and 2009, I believe. Yeah, it's honestly really good if you enjoy horror. It is a horror movie, so if you do not like horror, you will not like this movie. But it has some really good funny parts, plenty of violence, gore, monster movie magic. The practical effects in this are wonderful.
Yeah, there's lots of gore.
It's surprising how much just cringeworthy gore there can be in this movie, but done well, not really over the top. Like I've seen The Evil Dead with Sam Raimi was over the top. You have movies from Quentin Tarantino like Kill Bill, which is just over the top. Not bad in a way, just lots for no real reason. Whereas this felt very restrained and practical while still being rather gory.
Exactly. They evened it out.
Well, they had reasons. It wasn't like with Evil Dead, you have moments where, you know, somebody gets shot and there's just blood everywhere, but there shouldn't be that much blood for that amount of injury.
Yes.
Whereas with this, you know, a dude's head gets cut off at one point and there's blood everywhere, but not to the extent that, you know, Raimi or Quentin Tarantino would go with it. It felt like more of a almost realistic, natural amount of blood, but still in a horror movie way.
Yes.
I would definitely recommend checking this movie out. It's definitely worth the watch if you do enjoy the horror genre.
Yes, it's definitely. I do recommend checking it out.
And even if you don't necessarily like horror, if you enjoy Kevin Smith's work, you'll know Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob, and he has a small part in the movie. And I was actually surprised because he technically plays himself. He's introduced as Jason Mewes with the occupation of actor, and it was pretty good. He's very restrained in the movie, though. If you've seen him from Jay and Silent Bob at all, he's nothing like that. He plays a normal dude, really. So I think we'll get into some spoilers here. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any movies specifically you might want my thoughts on. And if you do click off here, have a good one. If you stick around, get ready for some spoilers. We're going to get into the meat of the movie. Get it? Because it's Feast. Meat. Terrible jokes.
Yes.
So the movie opening is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, honestly. There's plenty of specific parts that I just love about this movie. You get introduced to about 14 or 15 different characters at the start of the movie. They each have like a little freeze frame. It has their name, their occupation, if they have one, or some other fun fact about the character. Literally, it says fun fact. And everyone has a life expectancy, which aren't exactly accurate, but some of them are pretty good. And after we get introduced to all of them, you know, the creatures finally attack, and we lose 4 characters and one gets knocked out for most of the movie. So it's a little bit shocking in a sense. You don't necessarily expect that for it to happen that quickly.
Yeah, it was just like right at the beginning of the movie, they explain about everybody on who's that. And then all of a sudden, bang, the hero comes in and he's like, and he's saying he's a badass, and he's like, I'm gonna save your asses and shit, all that sort of stuff. And then next thing you know, bang, he's dead.
Yep.
Then there's a war vet trying to help, and bang, he's dead. Yep. And it's just like, okay, who's gonna save the day? And then next thing, oh, bang, here comes the hero's wife, and she lasts a lot longer than her husband did, but it didn't really work out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, it's looking at the characters. If you've watched enough horror, you can kind of take a shot in the dark at who's probably going to be alive at the end of the movie, and you probably figure it out pretty quickly. But you can't just go by what the movie actually tells you, because they're completely just fucking with you throughout the entirety of the movie.
Yes, especially with the kid.
The creatures themselves, the practical effects, the suits that they used to create the creatures are just really wonderful, actually. They really did put the money to use on that. The acting throughout the movie was really good too. It didn't really feel like anyone was a really weak link when it came to acting. They were all respectable for the roles they're given. I've seen really bad acting in some movies. Troll 2 comes to mind. That one scene is just cringeworthy.
The monsters, man, they were pretty nasty. Like in the first couple minutes of the movie, you end up meeting one of the monsters' babies, and he comes in there, kills quite a few of them right off the hop. Oh yeah. And he's pretty nasty too, because like he's running around the room. He has killing a few of them, cutting off one lady's leg, all this sort of shit. And then next they're looking for him, trying to find him. And next thing you know, he's humping a deer's head on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, it's just really bad. And then they get this bright idea. Hey, let's kill the baby, and then wave it into the parents and see how that's gonna go out.
Yeah, one of the guys is a motivational speaker by occupation, and he's like, "All right, so." For some reason, all of a sudden he thinks he's some fucking animal expert. He's like, let's scare him off. Maybe the scent of their dead will scare them. And they fucking, hold the dead baby out the window, not thinking it's a baby. They might just think it's maybe a smaller version of the monster or something, I guess. Well, that didn't go as planned and just pissed them off more. And they end up making more babies right then and there. And
literally, they ate the baby. The dead baby, and then they got it on right there, and then he puked out one, and there was a new one.
It was twins.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's very fun at times if you enjoy a really twisted sense of humor.
And then top it all off, they get this bright idea that let's get a dead corpse and use it as a distraction.
Well, I mean, actually, I liked that idea.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, the worst thing is, before they set it up, they strapped him up with a bomb and set it out there, and turns out she was alive. And she's like, "Help me, help me, help me!" And then she gets taken.
Yep. Dragged right out the fucking window.
And then the next thing you know, here comes the baby again, humping her face.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally face fucked her. And you don't see any of it. You see, like, from behind his butt moving, and you know what he's doing. But then they had a side shot of her when she gets pulled a little ways away from the creature, and she spews out some nasty looking white fluids. You can kind of take a guess at what she was coughing up.
Yes.
Seconds before she gets blown up. Horrible way to go.
Yeah. She literally got fucked to death.
At least it was pretty quick. I mean the the explosion, not the creature. Yeah.
And then you turn out close to the end of the movie that you originally see the parents and the monsters, and you think they're all these big hulky monsters, and then it turns out to be a cloak into the actual what the monster is.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was awesome.
Well, they hinted at that earlier because they mentioned that it looked like they were wearing a dead animal.
True, but
So-
it's just the way he showed up, they smashed through the bar, and it's like, yeah, I'm here.
As if his fangs and claws weren't, imposing enough, wearing a dead carcass to look even more puffed up and imposing of a figure shows they did have some intelligence and they weren't just random, eating machines or whatever.
True that.
The ending was actually really good as well. The final fight with the creatures, after watching the entire movie and how quickly and effectively these things can sneak in, grab somebody pretty much, and get out, the fact that these people were able to stand toe-to-toe with them in a battle almost felt a little disappointing, but I wasn't really disappointed. The very end, the actual hero female.
Technically, she was a mother first.
True. She got changed halfway through because she loses her kid and then becomes a badass. But she ends up running out of bullets, smashes the teeth out of one of the creatures
with the butt of a gun.
With the butt of the shotgun, and then shoves her arm down its throat to choke it to death.
And
She didn't rip anything out. She just shoved her arm in there so it couldn't breathe. No teeth to try to chew her up or anything like that.
And then she was like, choke on it, bitch.
Yep. It was pretty decent ending, I gotta say. I was impressed with the overall writing of the movie even. It's not like the greatest movie ever or anything, but going into it with what it's called, the way it kind of looks, and the fact that you've probably never heard of it before, you might not expect much, but I was pleasantly surprised overall.
And then the ending, they're leaving the bar, the car, and it was just a couple of them, and they're going, and then the car breaks down.
Honestly, that felt like it was a blooper on set, and they just used it for the movie. I really hope that's what it was, because that would make it even better. Like, it almost feels like it was supposed to be this heroic drive off into the sunset, and something went wrong with the car. And because the way she gets out of the car and starts looking around, it almost feels like she's improvising. It doesn't feel like that was scripted.
I really wish that when she opened the car and she pushed the car to get it started, that the monster came and took her right there.
That might have ruined it though, because that would have actually been scripted then.
It just would have been like, hey, surprise.
Sure, but they saved that for the early credits scene.
True.
But yeah, they obviously leave it open for a second one. One of the characters ends up hiding in a freezer in the bar, and like a walk-in freezer, not a one you would have at home. She ends up hiding in there, and at the end, after everything's quieted down, she ends up trying to sneak out, and all you see are like a couple of claws reach around the door and rip the door out, and you hear her scream briefly before it cuts back to the credits.
Yeah. So
you obviously know that it's not over. They opened it up for a sequel, which took them 3 years to make one, but they still went with it. Anyways, I think we'll probably cut this off here. Definitely, if you do enjoy the horror genre, please check out this movie. I think you'll find it entertaining enough to not, give it a shit rating or whatever. Any last thoughts?
Watch this movie. Watch the trilogy.
All right, so there you have it. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's a movie you want to hear my thoughts on. And have a good one.